Mr. Paul Scott, Militant Mind Militia. You know, over the last couple of weeks, the news has been buzzing about what's going on in London, how there's this big rebellion based on the fact that a brother got killed by the popo, you know, another incident of international police brutality. And they're talking about how Facebook, how the powers that be over in London were concerned that Facebook and Twitter had a large part in organizing the people to rebel. However, the big news in the United States is supposedly Game tweeted something telling the people to call the Compton Sheriff's Department and to shut the phone lines down as a practical joke. Something's very wrong with that picture when we see internationally people using social media like your Facebook, your Twitter to actually change social conditions, and the rappers over here who have a lot of influence over the youth, the rebellious youth, they're using they're using their influence to play practical jokes. Now, according to the Sheriff's Department over in Compton, it's the worst thing that ever happened. It's, you know, it's, what did he say it was? It's like yelling fire in a crowded theater, which really means that your constitutional rights for free speech have been waived. You need to peep that. But according to the Game, it was just either an accident or somebody hacked his computer, whatever. But the bottom line is the biggest fear of the Sheriff's Department, the FBI, the CIA, and all these other government agencies has been that the rappers would use their influence to affect social change and to become political. That they would use Twitter, and also the hip-hop community or the young people will use hip-hop, Twitter, flash mobs to really organize and protest to make things better for the people. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's always been a concern by the powers that be in this country that entertainers would use their influence to affect change. That's why various government agencies like the FBI have always fought hard against entertainers who did more than shuffle and shuck and jive and cut the fool. If you read Peter Doggett's book, there's a riot going on. He goes into what happened in the 1960s when the FBI and other agencies really began to crack down on Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles and other rock groups back during that era because of their political influence. Whether they would realize that or not, they had the potential to do that. Also, the FBI War on Tupac and Black Leaders by John Potash, he goes into the hip-hop era and why Tupac and others were a threat, that they might use their street swag to actually organize. And this has always been a fear of theirs, that instead of just cutting up, acting foolish, we will actually use our potential, our powers to organize the people. And if you look in hip-hop historically, that's always been the case. Even NWA, they didn't get in trouble with the law, so to speak, for disrespecting women. If you look at the history, it was because they said F the police. When they made that song, that's how they got on the FBI's most wanted list or became the most dangerous rap group in America. Not because of their disrespectful lyrics that a lot of people like to talk about, because they had a song that challenged actually what was going on prior to the Rodney King Rebellion. They kind of predicted that. Also, Ice-T, you know, he didn't get in hot water with the record industry because of 6 in the Morning or his Pimp songs. What he got in trouble with the industry for and all these right-wing conservatives, what he got in trouble for was the song he made, Cop Killer, which wasn't even a hip-hop song, it was a rock song by his other group called Body Count, which really challenged police brutality. And also, if you can remember, when Young Buck made his anti-police brutality song called, I forgot the name of it, but he made one, and a so-called lyric committee at his record company supposedly had the song banned. So they've always had that fear of rappers using their influence to motivate the people and speak out against issues such as police brutality. So the question becomes, what would happen if the Game, after maybe a Sean Bell, the brother who was killed in New York by the police a couple of years ago, or Oscar Grant, the brother out in California who was killed, the Oakland area, who was killed by police a couple of years ago, what would have happened if the game would have automatically at that point had his 500,000 or so Twitter fans call the police station and complain about that. That's what they're afraid of. What happens if we use the flash mob mentality and how you go on Twitter and tell people to show up at the same place at the same time? What if we use that instead of just going to the mall or things of that nature? What if that was used to meet at City Hall or go to a school board meeting or go to a rally and people just show up and start protesting? See, that's what they don't want to happen. So we have to be clear with that. We have to begin to use the power we have, whether it be hip-hop, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Facebook, to actually affect change. But unfortunately, they have dumbed down hip-hop and depoliticized hip-hop so much that they're not even worried about it. So we have to be real clear about that. Suppose instead of just doing stuff because, we did it for a cause. Suppose that instead of just playing games, we become serious. It's time to stop playing games and get serious. Truth Minister Paul Scott, Militant Mind Militia, peace.